So now the first part of writing your film, right? The first part of making a film is actually writing your film, right? Filmmaking starts with a script. You have an idea, you take the idea, you make a story. From the story, you create a script, right? You do redrafts until that's perfect. And then you use that to start the process of planning your shoot. Okay. So has anybody heard of the 3-act structure? Okay. This is the most basic tenet. This is one of the most basic principles of writing. It could be a novel, a short story, a film, a short film, anything. You generally have your script can be divided into 3 parts, right? So in the first part of the script is when you introduce the character who you are following or who you are talking about, and what challenge he has in life or in the world of the film, right? Then the middle portion of your film is how he overcomes that challenge, right? And the third and final part is the resolution, right? How he's overcome the challenge, whether he's happy, whether he's sad at the end of the day, and your film ends over, right? All films, the biggest of films, whether you watch you watch a movie like Avatar, right? James Cameron's Avatar, right? They all follow the same principle. Avatar is about the guy in the wheelchair, right? And he realizes that he needs to help, this alien tribe. The middle portion is how he goes about helping the alien tribe. And the third part of the film, the third act, the final third, is about how he basically has helped them and saved them. Right? You take any of your favorite films or anything you watch, and you'll find that most of them follow this format, right? So your 5-minute short film that you're writing needs to be approximately divided into this. This will help you write a 3-act structure, right? In the first act, you introduce who your character is or what you want to talk about. The middle portion, right, is how your character deals with the challenges he's facing or she's facing. And the third and final part is the conclusion, right? How you resolve these challenges and how your character ends over it, right? All short films, all feature films, all stories, all novels, right? They basically have to have something called conflict, right? So irrespective of the genre, whether you're making a comedy or whether you're making a thriller or whether you're making a horror film, right? You need to start with a character. That character has to have some challenge, right? Has to overcome that challenge. And at the end of it, your character has to very simply either emerge victorious or not very victorious. Some movies don't have the happiest of endings. Everybody with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, Chris, name one of your favorite films. A film that you like a lot.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
Avengers Age of Ultron. Okay. Have most people watched, most of y'all over here watched Avengers Age of Ultron?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So in Avengers Age of Ultron, at the starting bit, you have Tony Stark, who has created an AI, right? A computer program, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So at the start, Tony Stark's basic goal in life is to try and make the world a safer, by creating a robot, artificial intelligence that can save everybody, right? But what happens is that backfires and it escapes and becomes Ultron, right? So immediately the conflict or the challenge that Tony Stark and the rest of everybody faces is established in the first 1/3 of the film, right? They have a party, the robot comes, escapes and makes all of their lives miserable, right? They fight all of them, right?
Yes.
Then the middle portion of the film is where if you remember, is where they have a fight among themselves, but then they're like, listen, we have to go and fight Ultron. We need a plan, and they go through all those things, right? And then the final third is where they defeat Ultron, right? And in the process, the Avengers are safe again. This is roughly how the film is.
Yes.
Yes,
Right. So what we have happening is we've introduced the hero or all the heroes and the challenge they face. The middle portion of the film is how they go about facing the challenges. And the third bit is where they come to a resolution, right? They emerge victorious. Poor Quicksilver dies, right? there is like probably, right? So anyways, give me another film as an example that we can.
So Lord of the Rings.
Fairly the same thing, but Lord of the Rings is a 3-part movie. Give me another simpler film.
The Truman Show.
Jumanji.
Okay, has everybody watched Jumanji?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
You're
Yes,
talking about the Robin Williams Jumanji or the latest one that came out, The Rock?
The latest.
I'm
The
talking
latest,
about the
latest.
like I watched all the parts of Jumanji, but I was talking about the 1995 one.
Okay, let's simplify it. In Jumanji, you have a couple of kids who all have their own challenges. Some of them are insecure, some of them, are not very confident about themselves, right? Then they find this board game and they get transported into the world of the board game, right? And in the board game, they face even more challenges, right? But they learn to overcome all those obstacles. And in the final 1/3, they emerge with confidence, right? And with a sense of discovery of themselves. Now they are more confident than how they were at the start. Jumanji roughly follows this principle.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
right. So you get you get the idea, right? A 3-act structure. First act, establish who your character is, or who you want to talk about, and what challenge they might face. The middle portion is how you overcome those challenges, and the final third portion is the conclusion to it, right? If you're
Yes.
looking for a percentage in terms of that, I would say 20% of your time is spent establishing it. About 50% is spent in the middle, where you're talking about the challenge and what the character does to overcome it. And the remainder is the resolution, right? When you finish off your film. So when you're writing, right, a 5-minute film, you will apply the same principle over here, right? Introduce your character. In the middle of it, talk about the challenges the character faces, right? And at the end of it, have your resolution, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Saya, I will answer your question towards the end. Okay, just ask me once. All right. So now the thing is this. Now, from personal experience, when I went to film school and I joined, I was very enthusiastic, and all of us had watched Avengers. Actually, Avengers hadn't come out because I joined before Avengers came out. We had watched all these movies, like Avatar, and we watched Harry Potter, and all these big movies with explosions and things growing up. And for our 5-minute short films, all of us wanted to do the same thing, right? All of us like, I want to blow this up and all. And I remember my teachers telling me, right, they were like, please don't do that. Make a simple film, right? When you pass out of film school and you become a professional, then you can do whatever you want. But at the moment, just learn the basics. But we were still very, like they are full of passion and all that. No, I want to blow up stuff. I want to have like a car chase, and I want to have like, somebody like a fight sequence and all that, And we would often go and do those things, and they didn't look very professional. So in hindsight, when I think about what my teachers told me in film school, I was like, they were actually right. And I'm going to tell you the same thing, right? Very often there's this temptation to sort of make a larger than life film. But for the purpose of this exercise, your short film, I would say try to keep things simple so that they're not only believable, but you're able to do a more convincing job, right? The second thing is whatever stories you think of, short films need to be simple, right? They should not be overly complicated. If your short film is overly complicated, what happens is you will immediately start struggling to tell your story convincingly. Because another mistake I noticed a lot of my batchmates make when we were doing our short films, they would take a 2-hour feature film script, right? There'd be a flashback, like somebody was there, the villain is here and everything, and then they'll try to put the whole thing into 5 minutes, right? And to take 2-hour film and put into 5 minutes, it's very difficult, right? The quality will start suffering and you'll start struggling to make it. Short films need to be simple. Keep everything in your when you're writing it simple, right? You don't have to have too many characters. You don't have to have too many details, no subplots. One simple main plot. You can take a character or take 2 characters, take even 5 characters if you want. But let them have a simple challenge and let them overcome. See, I'm talking in very simple basics so that when you're writing it, you can build from that. Okay. Yeah, try not to go overboard, right? If you are well versed with VFX software, if you're well versed, you've checked out YouTube tutorials and you've been practicing different things, you can 100% try them, but try and keep them simple. Okay, so